This is F121. This is the Delta T Racing League. This is race number 6 from Silverstone, UK. I'm Seb Bauer, glad you're with us tonight for a mid-season battle here in our still first season. And this will be the night where REL Justice maybe will take a big step towards his first championship. The man in the McLaren who is having his home race, at least for his team's home race here in UK, in Silverstone, Lapland. And we have, including this, 5 races left. Let's have a short look at our standings, because it is looking very clear into the direction of Justice. He is leading with 56 points over P2, that is Brent 038. DTR Brand, there he is in the Alfa Romeo, 56 points, so that is really a lot. And he actually just needs to manage the gap for the last 5 races, today included. And in case he might be able to put up a bit more points, a bit more of cushion, then it should potentially be a very big step in his direction. Let's have a short look about the grid. We will probably not have an entirely full grid. We are 18 drivers right now. We might have 1 or maybe 2 reserves still on the way to join. One driver, Callum Hampton, sadly told us on very short notice that he could not make it tonight, but well, that can happen. 18 is already a pretty good number, I would like to say. Short look about the settings, as we still have not started yet. So these are the settings assists, most of them are off. And this is the track, very well known. Track difficulty is set to being easy. Not so sure if that is really easy. 5.9 kilometers of length. Max Verstappen is holding that lap record dating back to last year. And yeah, we will have a short quali, means 18 minutes, and afterwards a 50% race. That is something like 24-25 laps or so. 26 laps, it is 26. That's what the game tells us here. And yeah, so we are a little bit late. I am having a look into the background chat if there might be... just what I expected. There was an update just today. Version 1.009 has gone live today, and there is at least one driver who said he'll need a little bit of extra time. But I think we are talking about minutes, not hours. So this should not be like Spa a week ago. And yeah, in the meantime, we have just seen the first ever Zandvoort race, real life Zandvoort, aired yesterday. And a bit ironic, I would like to say, because we raced on Zandvoort already 2 years in virtual worlds, but the first time now we have seen Zandvoort in real life happening. And it was a bit boring. Yeah, at least in my mind it was a little bit boring. A lot of tactics, and just as we knew it from the virtual world, Zandvoort is very hard to overtake. But that should not be a topic for us here tonight. We are about to get started, and on the track in Silverstone, you definitely can overtake. So if I saw it right, we should be 18 drivers now in today. And as the game is loading, well, we see the newly constructed pit area. Was new something around the year 2000, what was it, 2005, 2009 or so, when the new Silverstone circuit got structured. Three drivers making us all wait a little bit. McLeod, Bad, and Kazel. But that should change really soon, I would like to suppose. And then we will have a look. First look up is the weather. I have not seen a weather report, but weather can always be a topic in England. Still one driver loading. Well, we see Ollie Tex already predicting our pole setter and race winner. He thinks that Bad for Life might be the pole setter and race winner, but that would mean that he might make it to load the game. And now we've got it done, or now he has got it done. So here we go. Here we are in the pit lane, and it is fair weather, blue sky, slight clouds, unharming, unthreatening. So everything looks quite good, at least for the quali. The first engine is fired. That was a Mercedes leaving his garage. And a McLaren right afterwards. Let's see who will be the first one out on track. The first one will be an Red Bull or Alpha Tauri, at least by the color bubbles. It was an Aston Martin. Aston Martin 0AK. I am still, just doing my second race here for the Delta T Racing League. Still a lot of names to learn. So, in case I should pronounce anyone wrong, please don't be mad at me. I am still learning all of you guys. And Seiro already validated the lap time, but on the out lap that is not the problem. He has cut, what was it? I think Brooklands corner, turn 6 it was. Yeah, but that is not an issue yet. So, little tradition of mine, I always stay with the first driver who has gone out on a hot lap. And he is still on the out lap, but he will be the first one on a hot lap. So that's why we will stay with the new team, at least the new livery of Aston Martin. British Racing Green on the British home track. And now we sit on top of his shoulder and listen to the great sound malfunction that is still part of the game while he is into his hot lap. Turn 1 and 2 and into village loop and then out to the Wellington Straight. Not a lot of time you can win in sector 1. That is already ended under the bridge here. Just time you can lose in sector 1 but not really win. Then the Luffield combination, Brooklyn, Luffield, Woodcote. Long right-hander here. The old pit lane. Old start-finish straight into Copse, where we saw this huge crash between Hamilton and Verstappen just 2 months ago. And then the fast-paced turned Beckett's Chapel. so often copied. More or less the same in Austin, for example, more or less the same in Bahrain, and then the last turn combination, Stowe, short, straight on Vale, and then into Club and onto the Hamilton straight. And this was one hot lap in Silverstone, former airfield in the Second World War, and Zero AK has posted a 126.0 on mediums. That is not so bad, already faster than Chalkers and faster than what is this name? Benny. But now there are a lot of times incoming. Brent now, the new pole setter with 125.8 on softs, a tenth ahead of Chabi and 2/10 ahead of McLeod. So, but you can already see that there are a lot of drivers who want to start on mediums. A lot of drivers who start the first hot lap on mediums. While one of my favorite names, Van Rotpree, has joined. As soon as he sits down into his car, he can run with us. He can race with us. And 5 minutes into the qualifying, and we see half the field has posted lap times. Multiple mediums, as I mentioned. Only Xavi SRD9 is potentially not on a competitive lap time. The others, we will see. We will have to wait and see if, for example, Chalkers, if Zero AK, if McLeod, if Chabi will already stay with their first hot lap and potentially maybe sacrifice a little bit of track position on the starting grid in order to have a potentially better race strategy, because the pit lane here in Silverstone is so tremendously long. The pit delta is so huge, you lose so much time when you have to stop, and so you must limit yourself to a one stop. And this only works if you start on mediums. If you start on softs, you cannot have a one-stop race. Softs are just too soft for a one-stop. And I wanted to search because Tickut is already out, P9, the Red Bull I think it was. But 9.5 tenths the gap to Brent, our pole setter at the moment, and Tickut is out. I saw his car standing, where was it? I think somewhere at around Village or Loop or something. And I think he crashed, but sadly I could not jump to any car quickly enough to depict it for us. And so at the moment there is actually no one on a hot lap, so we have a look at Bosmots, the I think Austrian driver, who is on an out lap. The rest of the drivers are on in laps or sitting in the pits. There's one driver on hot lap, that's what we jump to. This is my favorite name, Van Rotpree in the Ferrari, starting number 16, so maybe a little bit of Leclerc fan, but does not look like as if he was fast, so maybe this was a glitch that he is ruled on a hot lap, while we see a new pole setter, and that is IRS McLeod posting a 125.8 on mediums. Wow, congratulations, great lap time for the yellow tire. But there is one bad thing about it, one disadvantageous thing, because he has run already 3 laps on his mediums, and within an out lap that is actually already 5 laps. So he must start on this set of mediums, and those set then has already 5 laps down on lifetime. So we will have to wait and see if that will still work in his way, in his favor. as a one-stop strategy. So Van Rotpree now finally made it into his hot lap. Now it is correct that the game rules him in his hot lap, while Boss Mods did so too. We are already around about at the midway mark of the quali, so time really flies here in Silverstone. The lap is pretty long, so that means you lose a lot of time coming in, coming out of your garage. And now everyone who did not drive yet is at least out on some hot laps, some out laps. Like, Justus, our overall leader, and Shabby, Tenkate, Black Mamba, who definitely is Austrian, that I know. I'm not sure if Bossmods is Austrian, but Black Mamba is, that I know for sure. While we watch Van Rotpree coming towards the end of Sector 2, 103.1. Not so bad, but he is running on softs, so that must be a good lap time if he wants to be competitive. Let's see what he'll do here at the end. P10, not so good as expected, not as good as hoped potentially from himself. Meanwhile, Brent has posted a new lap time, and McLeod is out. Did he already retire? Don't see a crash car. Can only mean that he already called it a quali for himself, retiring after just half the duration. So he will start on this set of mediums. And right afterwards, he is not the pole setter anymore, because that is now Zero AK again, that's his name. Let's have a short look what Justice is doing. Our overall leader, does not look fast. He is not ruled on an out lap by the game, but maybe he's doing 2 warm-up laps, so maybe there was a bit of a problem on while starting the hot lap. There's someone coming, his teammate, Mr. Chokas, who could be on a hot lap, so he lets him pass. Bogorovsky, good evening to you. Thanks for confirming that Botsmods is Austrian. And yes, McLeod is McOut. And right when he's out, have a look, he's dropping. He is dropping in grid positions. He dropped out, he quit it when he was in the pole. And now he is down to 5th only anymore. So Tenkate, Zero AK, Chockers and Brand, all of them overtook him. While we watch Justice coming back to his pits. 6 minutes left, still no hot lap time, no time set for Justice, Shabby and Black Mamba. It will be interesting. All of those drivers have just 1 shot remaining, just 1 shot left to post a competitive lap time. Yes, Olitex, totally true. Good choice to qualify mediums, but the question is, I'm not sure if it was a good idea from McLeod, from McOut, to already quit so early. But yeah, we will see. We will just have to wait and see if that pays off for him or not. But the fact that so many drivers try on mediums tells me that the race will be dry, or at least the start is going to be ruled dry. Let's have a look at Kazel. He's ruled on a hot lap, P12 at the moment. No, not anymore. Not anymore. No one on a hot lap, out lap, pit or in lap, but no one on a hot lap. Justice is out again. That is rather early with 4.5 minutes left, so he He tries on mediums too, but this set of mediums is already 2 laps old, so the 0 is not correct. He will have the same issue as McLeod. He will not start on more or less fresh mediums. They are already rather scrumped, I would like to say. And if he posts a hot lap now, that would mean he will be finished then already when everyone else is turning towards their each final shots. So hand goes straight, and then he will turn up the engine, turn up the pace with 3:46 left. So now here we go. Let's focus all eyes on Ariel Justice. Very smoothly through turn 1 and 2. Short shifting here in turn 3, interesting. Smooth acceleration out on Wellington. He wanted to take every inch of the track. Not sure if he really got the apex there, but the rest looks rather good. Now into Cops. Let's see if he will lift. Bare little bit of lifting. Beckett. Very close through. And there he's off. There he is off. That is it for Justice. This is potentially already the end for his quali. And it definitely wasn't very good on his tires. I'm pretty sure he will try to run again in case he has enough of gasoline with him. With 2 minutes left, there is enough of time, but I really doubt that he will be in a potential pole position discussion here. So for Justice, it is now all about limiting the quali damage. So for the moment, let's have a look about the pole. Zero AK just posted another lap time, pushing down the limits. 1:25.4 his lap time, 4 seconds faster than the real life lap record. And who else could be interesting to watch? Let's have a look what Xavi is doing. He is here, the first Ferrari, Sector 1. Let's see if there might be some improvements after Sector 1. Barely, 1.5 tenths. But that would not be enough to get very much ahead, just maybe at the level of Bossmods he might be in the end. Bossmods, who is already finished, by the way. No more hot lap for him. What is the other Austrian doing? Black Mamba does not look very fast. It seems like the Haas with the number 91 is finished. Yes, he is. Black Mamba maximally in P7. What is 10 Kate doing? Our Dutchman, who just celebrated his home race yesterday at the end of Sector 1. And Justice, have a look. Justice up into second. Wow, just 1 tenth behind Zero AK. And that even if he had this spin in the lap earlier, if he was, even though his battery maybe wasn't fully charged, even though his tires had already a spin on them, but he is just 1 tenth behind our pole setter Zero AK. Just you can just imagine what would have been possible for Justice if he didn't spin on his first hot lap try. And now, meanwhile, 10 Kate has reached the end of Sector 2 here. What does the Haas driver do? Improving by a tenth, but this will not be enough, I suppose, to attack the podium or attack the pole position. Brent looks slow. Yes, his lap time is invalid. You can see the red minimap. And that is already it, I would like to say, for the pole discussion. So Brent is finished. The question is, where will Tenkate finish? Then in the end, he will not improve because the lap time was invalid. So he will stay in P6. Who else is still running? There's still an Alpine running. This is Benny or something like this. And the Williams, so many blue colored bubbles this year. Let's have a look where Benny, I at least suppose that his name should be Benny, will start. Will he push himself into the top 10? Yes or no? Oh yes, P7 for him. P7, he was the last driver to post the hot lap. This should be it. This should be it. Everyone should be finished by now. We will just have to wait until the last driver is pushed back into his garage or comes back to the garage. Yeah. And then already congratulations to Zero AK for the pole position, and of course for this to Ariel Justice for this great lap. And have a look, in the end McLeod is being relegated down into 8th. So this was maybe a mistake to give up that early, even though his medium time of course was a very strong one. And there finally our quali now is officially finished. So this is our starting grid for the UK race in Silverstone. 0AK out on the pole position, followed by Ariel Justice with just 1/10 the gap. Then Brent in 3rd, Chalkers 4th, 5th is Chubby, 6 goes to Tenkate, 7th is Benny, 8 McLeod, P9 Black Mamba, P10 Kazel, P11 and free tire options, probably everyone on mediums from here onwards. Boss Mods, then in 12th Destroyer Zan, 13 for Shabi, 14 is Bad Band for Life, 15 Famrotpri, 16 Tikut, 17 Multi ABC, 18 Stratovius or something like this, and P19 did not set the time. I sadly couldn't read it early enough to tell you who it was. Yeah, the new names, you know, still the new names to learn. We have around about half a minute left to put in the best fitting tire strategy and change some minor tweaks of the car setup, and I will be back with you as soon as we start our installation lap. So here I am again. Took me a little bit longer to prepare myself because I admit I am still a bit struggling with the side effects from some COVID I had a few weeks ago. But now we get things sorted out. First look is the tire strategy. Of course, we see from P11 onwards there are just 3 drivers. That's bad for life. Ticut and Multi-Rep starting on softs, and 1 driver, that is Xavi, who starts on hards. The rest starts on mediums, and the top 10 have to start on each tire they qualified on. So yeah, this should be a fun race. Xavi, totally right, this should be a fun race. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, let's just have us a cool race here tonight. All our drivers are about to find each starting box. Lap 0 is officially finished. The 5 red lights of Silverstone, and then the Delta T Racing League. Silverstone UK, go, go, go. Good start from 0AK, but Justice even a bit better. Already defending against Brent in the background. 0AK won the start. Now the attack, no attack from Justice. Maybe in the background, what's happening here? McLaren against McLaren and Brent in the middle of it in the Alfa Romeo. In the background, let's scoot through the field a bit. We see yellow. Benny is not out, but he's spun out. Benny in the last position, -12 for him. But the rest, everything went rather smoothly, I would like to say. There was some Red Bull, I think it was Ticut, who was a bit wide there. Now Ticut against both the Alpha Tauri. Lost the position against Xavi. Wow, have a look, Xavi up in 11th. Starting from the back row. First penalty already being handed out. Oh, wheel to wheel into packets. That does not work. And Ticut knows it and backs off. And behind, Bosmart's not too far away either. Ahead, Xavi already attacking. Destroyer Sun maybe already before and without the RS. No attack yet. But this looks a very fun group to come. Ticut up until Brent, who was the big loser of the start. Have a look, Brent down by 5 positions. Brent is down to 8. Now, yeah, the good old community glitch. So this lap, don't be confused about the ranks. Let's just have a look who will come into the pits for some damage. Could potentially be Benny, of course. Nope, Benny did not stop. Have a look at the minimap, how far he's behind. And attack here? No, not yet. Not yet, but this looks close. So Ticut on the faster soft tire. Looks like he is already pushing on Xavi. This will be a fun group to watch. Ticut had to lift a lot more here in Cops with the heavier race car than the lighter quali car. And as soon as it's next lap, this will be a huge DRS train. And there was Destroyer Sun, who made a little bit of a mistake there on the exit towards the hangar straight, and that costed him P10 for Xavi. And now, as the community glitch should be over, let's have a look. Biggest loser of the start, of course, was Benny down into last. And the winner, definitely Xavi, up by 9 positions. And in the front rows, it was McLeod, our Mr. Mac Out, who jumped up by 4 positions from 8th to 4th. And we know that McLeod, Ticut has spun. Tikud has spun out on the exit. On the exit of, what was it? Was it village? Was it farm? I think village. Ooh, and crashing into this shield here. Ah, his tires are heating. He has zero grip to return back to the track. And there's Benny. Hello. Hello, Mr. Benny. So, let's have a look at the tire strategy. We have seen McLeod being up by +4. And so Justice, McLeod and Chubby could have themselves potentially a very, very good race. About tire situation, I would like to think that the podium might be battled out between Justice, McLeod and Chubby if they don't make a mistake. And of course, if there is no safety car, that could potentially puzzle and shuffle things. So we have this front group here, the top trio, Zero, AK, Justice and Chalkers, racing a bit away. Zero supplying the DRS, then there is a bit of a gap, and then some fun midway group. This is Jabi attacking, or maybe not attacking McLeod. Both on mediums. McLeod must close the gap, 1.5 seconds behind Chalkers, and McLeod must close this gap into the 1 second window so that he can have DRS, not to attack, rather to defend himself. And then there is a big gaggle of cars behind Chubby here. 10 Carter, Brent, Chubby, all of them inside the DRS window. Indirectly in McLeod's DRS window. And we have a new leader. There it was. We have a new leader. Just on the hangar straight, a few meters ahead of us. Justice overtook Zero AK, even though Zero is on the potentially faster tire. Justice will have an advantage on long term on the mediums, but he's so fast. He is so fast. Have a look. He is already racing away. We have a safety car. Safety car because Tikud is out. Tikud is out. He has crashed in cops. That must have been a huge accident. Sadly, we couldn't see it. He was just too far away of everyone in last position. This was a Max Verstappen potential crash, high-speed crash out of cops. And yeah, sad we did not, I couldn't depict it for you. Let's see, let's stay with those top drivers. Let's see if they will pit now. Justice and the rest of the medium gang, I suppose not. That should not be in their favor, but the softs. Let's see if the soft drivers will pit here. Yeah, exactly. Bogarovsky, there should be the call now from Jeff, his engineer. Hey Tikud, are you okay? Are you okay, mate? Anything like this. So now all eyes on the pit entry. Justice is pitting. Wow, Justice, he's racing on mediums, but he's pitting. And Zero AK does so too. And behind, have a look, everyone is pitting. Chalkers, McLeod. Both the McLarens are pitting. I hope they will not interfere each other. 10 Kate on softs went through. On softs, okay. And Chubby went through. Okay, the medium runners are expected to run through, but not the soft guys. A bit of unsafe release there from the Mercedes, but the second Mercedes had to wait. That was Chubby. He was impeded there a bit from the pit stop of his teammate. J4K3 Why would he pit? That is a good question. Definitely a good question. Cannot answer it to you at the moment, I admit. Yeah, I expected the soft drivers to pit. Maybe not everyone, but the majority. And the majority of soft drivers did so. They pitted for hards. Most of the drivers pitted for hards. Just Brent and Black Mamba. And now Benny, who opted for fresh mediums. Majority stopped for hards. And Justice went to softs. Can you believe it? Justice did just what no one did. Justice did what no one did. Pitting for softs. Coming from mediums, being on a potentially really good strategy, and going to softs, what everyone wanted to avoid. Yeah, and he does just that. So this will be very interesting. This will be very interesting. Because a few drivers around him will try to go through, like McLeod, like Chalkers. Those drivers on mediums definitely cannot go through. Zero AK has to pit again. Brent and Black Mamba will have to pit again. Yeah, and Justice has to pit again, of course. He cannot go through on a set of softs from now. 20 laps left. I'm not even sure if he can go through on hards, actually. So this will be some big nursing action, some big nursing job those boys have to do now. McLeod, Jockers, Jabi, Bad for Life, Kazel, and Stavroulis, a man from Greece. Yeah, and we have us one more lap of safety car, and I will be silent for a moment, and we'll be back with you shortly. So, safety car is already on his way back to his pits. First work stint of Bernd Mailänder is finished. We see the Haas of 10 Kate warming up his tires. Very unusual looks. A Haas leading the way. Let's see how long he can make his softs last. Already 6 laps from the start. And there will be the restart now. Here we go. Bit of a wiggle there into the last turn. Got everything okay. No attack from Shabby behind, but there's maybe an attack from Destroyer's Son. He is a lot closer to Shabby than Shabby is to Tenkate. And behind Justice is ahead of Famrapri, still battling it out. Justice, the fastest driver in the whole league and on the fastest tire. So this should work in his favor for the next few laps, but it must work in his favor. He must collect some time, some additional 30 seconds for another pit stop. But it wasn't Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad idea to stop for softs, because he knew he cannot go through. Attacking here ahead of maggots, and for some reason it went well, but potentially because of multi-rep already has some time lost on his older softs. 7 laps against 1 lap all softs. Yeah, but to say justice, maybe it wasn't a bad idea. He knew that he cannot go through on the next set of tire, no matter what he opts for. And so having a short, fast middle stint on softs, and then just try and see how much time is left, opting for either mediums or hards in the end, wasn't a bad idea. And now he can really attack, he can really push, and that's the next attack. Oh, that was maybe a bit too aggressive from Justice against Boss Mods. That could have gone wrong badly. So, and now the next attack incoming ahead of Cops. Oh, a bit of Hamilton moment. Hamilton versus Verstappen. This was rather Hamilton against Leclerc. Oh, and in the background, a big crash. That is Zero AK. Oh no, our pole setter. He had such a good race start, a good first part of the race. And he is about to ruin it all. Spinning out there after Cops somewhere into the old pit exit it was. That is sad for the Aston Martin driver. Very sad. While Brent and Famrotri has swapped positions. Let's have a look what's going on here. They still battling, and Chubby into the action too, and Chubby overtaking Famrotri on the wide lane there. And yes, he needs to return the position. Yes, he did so. Next attack here. Oh, this is a big gaggle of car, and DRS should be activated now. Everyone except Chubby will have DRS. No, everyone except Famrotri will have DRS. So Chubby ahead and able to open up the rear wing. And that brings in Black Mamba into an attack potentially. And now ahead of Cops. Yellow in sector 2. That is right here. Have a look. Destroyer Sun has a problem. Destroyer Sun lacks a front wing. Destroyer Sun without a front wing there. And Maggots Beckett. Have a look. Chubby is racing away, even though he is on the potentially slower hard tire, while Framrotri is still having the RS that helps him out to defend against Black Mamba. And behind Black Mamba there are another 3 drivers DRS equipped, so this will be a very fun midway group here. Battle for midway. And Famrotri crashes into the wall there. Hi. Next one who lost his car in, Abbey and Farm. And there he's out on track again in P16, lost a lot of positions because the field was still very close. Let's have a look if there is some damage visible. Nothing that we could depict here on the TV screen. And while we watched all these midfield battles, there is Ariel Justice up into second already on his fresh softs, really making them work, racing up from I think P6 before the safety car phase, and now he's already in second, hunting Shabby, and I suppose it will not take long until he is at least in Shabby's DRS window. And was Mods pits? No, 10 Kate it was. 10 Kate into the pits. We've seen a few penalties being handed out here, mostly because of ignoring warnings for corner cuts. Gap is now more or less stable. Now it's under the 1.3 seconds mark. And soon, I suppose, we will see the attack from Justice against Shabby for the lead. Both still unpenalized now, while penalty seconds incoming here a lot. Let's have a look about some midfield battles. We have seen Shabby and Bad, there is Bad, spinning out on the exits of the old pit lane. And there was a coming together. There was a crash with Shabby. Shabby is lacking a front wing and has to run half the lap without front downforce. And Bad is being overtaken here by Stafrudis and Benny. So potentially both Bad and Shabby will turn to the pits here. New fast lap of the race from Justice. Looks so weird. An F1 car without the front wing. And Shabby into the pits. I was a bit sad because he maybe was able to go through the race here on this set of cards, but now he needs an additional pit stop and picks up a 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane penalty. Bad for Life did so too, so they are square again on this. Fresh mediums for Shabby. He could be able to go through on this set now. And Justice, is he in? Is he not? Detection is right here. Is he in? Is he not in the DRS window? He is. The dark trace is pointing upwards towards the sky. That means the position swap, the lead change will come rather soon. But don't forget, both still on one stop left, so this is a valid battle. This is a battle for the lead. There is no strategy issue between those two drivers. Let's see if or how much Shabby can defend against Justice. Bad for Life is out. Did he crash? Yes, he crashed. He's behind us. He did crash in Stowe. Only yellow car has already vanished. We do not need another safety car, a safety car phase. Justice maybe was hoping for, but not yet. So in the last race, Justice was inactive. And Shabby, to that time, was his prime opponent. Shabby could have made up some points in the championship battle, but Shabby then DNF'd. And therefore, he could not make up points on Justice. And this would have been our championship leaders battling it out then, if Shabby finished on a possible podium last week. And here he is now, Justice, in the vacuum mirror of Shabby. Shabby on 14 laps old mediums, so still racing on his starting tire. They will degrade sometime now, but the tires from Justice are 8 laps old now, the softs, and they should potentially start degrading somewhat around this time too. So both on older tire, both on rubber problems maybe. Let's see what those two boys will show us here on this battle for the lead, while both are still in need of one more pit stop. If Shabby can run a little bit longer, he might make it long enough to finish the race on softs then. While Justice, could do the same because he started on mediums, so he could do the same and obey to the tire rules. And now he looks already pretty close here on the hangar straight. Shabby will go inside to defend. Yes, he does. But have a look. Wheel to wheel for the lead here in the last turns. Now the battle lane for Justice. Shabby needs to stay next to him. Shabby could defend himself for the moment. But this is just for the moment. Next DRS zone coming up after this chicane. Right and left, and then Wellington straight, a short DRS zone. Maybe too short for Justice to attack, just long enough to get towards the gearbox of Shabby, but not next to him. That it was, just that it was. And now Lovefield and Woodcock just trying to stay close, just try to push through the dirty air effects in Cops likewise. And speaking about dirty air, that will be huge now in Maggots and Beckett's. But he looks closer now than in the last lap. No, according to the numbers, he is 1/10 further away of Shabby. Now the DRS zone on the hangar straight. Shabby will go inside. Justice right. Yes, he got it. He got around Shabby and Shabby into the pits. Heartbreaking maneuver from Shabby. Just barely early enough to not pick up a penalty. Let's stay with Shabby here really quick. While he is in the pits, let's see where he will come out on track position then. He went long enough to finish on softs, so Justice will do the same. And Shabby now has one lap of undercut. I expect Justice to pit right in the next lap to limit Shabby's undercut to only one lap. He is in P11 here, and have a look, Shabby has more or less free track ahead of him. So let's stay with Shabby here for this one lap, and let's see if the undercut worked for Shabby. They were really close to each other. Justice just overtook him when he turned into the pits, so just a few tenths, maybe just 1 or 2 tenths separating both of them. And now Stavroulis will even provide Shabby with DRS here on the long hangar straight. And Destroyer Sun is out. Destroyer Sun, I think he gave up. So now is Stavroulis holding up Shabby or not? Stavroulis DRS equipped too, but this should work for Shabby, and it does work. And he goes by Kazel too. He overtook 2 drivers on one hangar straight. Justice did not pit. Justice still running. Justice allows Shabby to have a 2-lap undercut. And Shabby is really pushing. Shabby is really flying here. Not a fastest lap, but overtaking 2 other drivers in just 1 undercut lap. That was really a huge maneuver there on hangar straight. Now he is too far away for the next DS zone, but that he will change against Benny until they reach hangar straight. So another lap of DRS undercut. This could get a this could get messy for Justice. This could be a problem. This could be a problem for Justice. So now through cops, have a look. He is very easily inside the 1 second window. Aha! But Benny just let him pass. Benny knew that he's on a different strategy. Just Shabby go by. But the problem for Shabby, this did not give him DRS now. No DRS. Justice did not pit again. Justice did not pit again. Yellow in sector 1. Yellow in sector 1. There is a Ferrari slow maybe? 10 seconds penalty against Van Rodri for karting track. Shabby with the new fastest lap in the last lap. And yeah, so the big wait for the Justice pit stop. I am really not sure if Justice will still be in the lead then. Until then, let's have a short look about some midfield battle group. Again, this is Black Mamba. And behind him is Zero AK. Have a look, Zero, who had this spin out right here. And he is battling up to the front, at least into P6. Zero AK up in 6th. Not bad. If you consider that he was among the backmakers after his spin. But of course a bit bad if you consider that he was the pole setter to start our race. And Van Rodri has retired in the pit lane. So after his big penalty he decided to call it the night. With 6.5 laps remaining, and Justice still did not pit. Can he go through? Can he really intend to go through on a set of 13 laps old softs? Can hardly believe so. Can hardly believe so. There is another battle looming. This is Brent against McLeod. Simultaneously old tire, but Brent on the potentially faster medium against the used old parts. And Shabby picked up a penalty. This is huge. This is huge. Shabby, 3 seconds penalty, and those are right, those 3 seconds that could potentially save Justice in the end for the lead. So here you see the TV broadcast camera angle on this battle that is developing from a duel into a foursome fight. This is a potential fight for a podium. So this is McLeod providing DRS for Brent, Chubby and Chalkers. Here ahead of Cops. Justice still running. I have one eye on the orange bubble of Justice. If he intends to pit now. While we watch this battle here. No attacks still. But they are getting always closer and closer together. No pit stop for Justice. Oh, but pit stop here from Chubby. And he's out! My goodness! What happened there? Cannot depict it because it was in the pit lane. But why is Chubby out? My goodness, why is Chubby out? What happened there? Trying to look it up if there was any background comment, but I don't see anything. I have no idea why Chubby is out. That is really, really sad. So there's still yellow in sector 1. This is the DNF of Chubby. He was in a podium discussion here. I cannot explain it. Yeah, so J4K and Bogarovsky are both sure that justice will go through on the set of softs, but this is such an high risk. This is such an incredible high risk. I am not sure why he takes this risk, because he knew that his prime opponent Shabby still needed a pit stop. He could have just stopped one lap after him, and this could potentially end like Hamilton in Silverstone last year, where he when Justice might come home on just 3 tires left. So at the moment there is still some battle going on. This is a 3-man fighting group brought to us from the camera, from the TV pod view from Chalkers. Ahead is Brent and McLeod. P234 battling for the following podium positions here. But Chalkers looks a little bit far away. Brent, have a look how close he is. If he had a screwdriver, he could repair McLeod's gearbox here in Baggett's and Maggots. And now out on the Hanger Straight, but it looked like he lost a bit of gap in the dirty air. Ah, he lifted. At the end of Hanger Straight, he lifted. No attack possible against McLeod. And in these sections, he cannot try it again. He might try on Wellington if he is close enough. Yep, Jeff, we will do so. Here's the camera angle, is the onboard of Justice. Hard to see. Hard to see how the tires look like. Yeah, there is some blister lane, I think, on the front right, but the front right is not as important as the front left, of course. I think the same as J4K. He is in the red zone, in the problem area, puncture area, with a little bit more than 2 laps remaining. If he brings it home, this is a huge result on nursing tires till the end. If he doesn't bring it home, he'll just, can only be mad at himself, because he had the chance to pit and he didn't. So for the last 2 laps, back to the podium battle. This is a battle for third. Chalkers against Brent. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. Oh, there are quite some seconds handed out. So even though if Chalkers overtakes Brent, he will not step on the podium, much likely, because he has a plus 3 seconds penalty. And then, just have a look, a few plus 3s, plus 6, plus 13 and 14 for Kazel and Stavroulis. So big penalties there that will wash both of them out of the points eventually. And 2 laps, 1.5 laps remaining. Twice those 3 boys still can go through hangar straight, still can open up the rear wing, everyone except McLeod, of course. It is, yeah, there is some tension, there is some excitement. Who will win the race? Will Justice bring it home on this tremendously old set of slicks? And who will be the other drivers stepping onto the podium, and in which order will they do? 10 Kate in the background, just swap positions with Stavridis. 10 Kate then on P10, final point would go to the Dutchman, but he will make up a bit more positions due to penalties, 1 or 2. So we are in our last lap. Let's stay with these boys. I have one eye on the orange bubble of Justice, who's in left field now. So Wellington straight with no attack from anyone here. So that still looks more or less the same. So for the moment, let's jump to him again. Here's our leader, Justice. All 4 tires still in one piece. Just 3-4 turns left. He has already lifted, I think. So it looks safe for him. It looks like he made it home after 17 laps on this set of softs. What a great race, what a great end. Congratulations, Justice. Yet another victory for our overall leader. And in second, a home wiggling McLeod, racing up from 8th to 2nd. Chalkers, the other McLaren, then in third. Both the McLarens on the podium on their home race, extending their lead on the Constructors' Championship. And so let's just wait for Marty. He will be the last one to cross the checkered flag. Zero, okay. The pole setter finishing in 4th, limiting the damage pretty well after he spun out and was almost in last position. So here's our podium race winner, Justice, Lithuania. Great drive, at least, especially in the very end. Well deserved. The champagne shower for him. So here's the final result after penalties. Justice has won the race ahead of McLeod and Chalkers on the podium. 4th, Zero, our pole setter. In 5th, Brent. 6th, Shabi. 7th, Black Mamba. 8th is Benny. 9th, 10 Kate. Final point goes to Boss Mods. 11th, Multi RABC. 12th, Kazel. 13th, Stavridis. 14th, Shabi. And not finished was Chabi, Famratpri, Destroyer Sun, Bad for Life, and Tekut. So this was our race from Silverstone. Yeah, it was an exciting one, just as always from Delta T, and I hope you liked it just as much as I did. I am Sepp Bauer. I will sadly not be here with you next week for a family trip, but I am sure you will still enjoy next week's race, Monday evening, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Continental. Thanks for being with us. I will be your host in 2 weeks then again. Have a nice week, have a great evening, and stay safe in these times. and keep racing.